I run a purpose-driven business all while raising three kids. And yes, I actually get things done. Not because I have more time, not because my kids magically nap or are perfectly poised every moment of the day, but because I stopped letting guilt, overwhelm, and distraction lead my day. And I let God take over my calendar. So in this episode, I'm pulling back the curtain on how I really plan my weeks and how you can too. So let's get into it. Hey, Bryn, I'm Emily. I'm your Bold Life Christian, coach, and business mentor. And welcome to my channel where faith meets productivity and purpose, entrepreneurship, relatable life, intentional living. You get the picture. So if you're a Christian mom juggling a lot of things, a calling on your heart, the dream of running a business that honors God and motherhood and all of these things, you are certainly in the right place. So make sure you hit subscribe so we can stay connected. I'm not going to give you a perfect plan or spread in this episode, but I am going to show you what actually works when your time is tight and your purpose is big. So I used to start my weeks off with one goal: get as much done as possible, period, the end. The problem that left me exhausted, discouraged when I couldn't get it all done, and to a almost 2-year burnout phase where everything came to a screeching halt. And I've basically had to restart these last couple of years. So I want to start with this question: what season am I in, and what does obedience look like here? This is the key. So when I came out of burnout, I said, what was the problem? What drained me the most? Where was the boundary set and not set? And how can I do this better? So what does obedience look like in the season I'm in now? Right now, I've got young kids, a growing business, and a heart that wants to steward both well. So I block off non-negotiables first, because you have to have healthy boundaries when your time is being split in many different purpose things that you value a lot. So the first thing is you need to know what your values are. From there, you can set priorities. So what I do, my non-negotiables are time with God, restorative time with my family where there's no distractions, no screens, no phones, no nothing, and hours focused for business growth. So in Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. When you honor your season, you stop competing with unrealistic expectations. This is such a key point. And you start thriving in God's place. We sometimes have bigger aspirations and expectations for ourselves than what we could ever actually accomplish because of the season we're in. Having small kids, and I have 3, it takes a lot of mental energy. It takes a lot of physical time and energy. And before your kids are a part of day programs or go to any type of thing like that, you're with them 24/7 if you are the primary caregiver. In my case, I was. So how was I going to fit in working and being a good mom, taking care of the house, like all these things at one time? And you have to recognize my expectations for my business were probably even more than what they are right now because I didn't know better. So I was shooting for the stars when I needed to shoot for some tops of flowers. I don't know, that wasn't a good analogy, but you get what I'm saying. I needed to rewire what my expectations were for this season I was in, because there's only so much, right? So much time in the day, so much I can give, all of these components. So one of the biggest shifts for me was creating boundaries with my yeses. So realizing that a godly yes requires a holy no. So I got clear on what fuels me and what drains me. I said yes to batch working, what matters. I said yes to quiet mornings with the Lord. I said no to distractions disguised as urgency. We know what those are. And I said no to overbooking myself with good things that weren't God things. So we can sometimes get confused with, I'm signing up for this because it's for the church. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but honestly, in that season, that might not be the best fit for you to take on that ministry role, right? And you might be spreading yourself too thin. So it's really taking an inventory, doing an audit on what you value, what you have time for, what needs priority in this season. It doesn't mean things can't change down the road. So I built my weekly schedule around the version of me that honors both my faith and my family and my vision for my business. Think of this as faith-based time management. So Luke 14:28 says, for which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost? Your time is an offering, and steward it accordingly. You only get so much time. So you need to be intentional with what you're doing with it. That is going to bear the right fruit for the season that you're in. So the next thing is to block time like a CEO. Here's how I schedule my week now. Practically speaking, things change. You gotta have open hands when it comes to your life with the Lord, because He might drop somebody in your lap one Monday morning that you need to sit and talk to for 2 hours that you didn't plan. But you need to have eyes open for what God is putting before you to steward that well. We need to have a plan of action to go along with what flows with the priorities that He has for our season. So Monday and Friday are like CEO days. I batch coaching calls, content filming, and big picture strategy here. Those are the days that I set apart for those things. Tuesday and Thursday are flexible blocks because all my kids at some point in the day are at their programs, their school stuff. So this is where I build out specific client projects, getting a lot of planning and content written, things that take a lot of brain power. I do when none of the kids are home. Makes sense, right? And then I plan out my day for the afternoon once they return to have undivided time with them. It gives my brain a break. It refuels me after draining all that energy, putting into content creation and building out the courses and things like that, and pouring into my community group and all of that stuff. So those days are Tuesdays and Thursdays when I fit that in. And then early mornings and having a rhythm to my day is also what I pay attention to. I always start with a morning workout. I always work out in the morning first thing. Then I listen to a sermon, a podcast, something theological. And if I have time, I'll sit down and read my Bible then. But usually I like to read my Bible at night. I don't know. Something about it decompresses me. I really like to read my Bible at nighttime. So before I go to bed is when I get my Bible reading time in. But during the morning, I like to listen to a podcast, a sermon, something theological, listen to worship music, getting my spirit and my heart posture in the right place. And then I start my day of prepping breakfast or whatever we're doing that day. If it's a school day, if it's not, just getting the day started, getting the kids woken up, opening up the house, getting some things cleaned up so that the day can feel fresh and new, and just balancing that with the ebb and flow of what's going on for that day. So we obviously have a lunch routine, we have a afternoon routine, and then an evening routine that we just stick to, but it's not regimented to the minute. Also, when school is in session and sports are in session, you're going to have to rework your schedule. And I know that summer's coming up, so I'm already preemptively prepping what I need to prepare for this summer season, because when all my kids are home all day, I don't have these perfect blocked out times where I can dedicate to my business unless I hire a babysitter, take them to the grandparents' house, which I do some in the summer because I have to. But I have to know what's coming up for the season ahead too, so I can preemptively prepare for that. So these are the ways that I manage my weekly schedule, my daily schedule, and planning big picture and keeping it all synchronous. The other thing is life is the assignment. So friend, your calendar doesn't just hold your work hours. It holds your calling, it holds your motherhood, it holds your impact. And I used to think I had to work harder to earn rest, but that's false. Now I know that rest is part of the work, because that is what keeps me going. And joy is part of the mission. You've got to have fun in life. And being present is a holy assignment. So you can plan out everything, be just working for the next task. But the greatest gift you can give yourself is to be present in the moment, because that's when you're actually fully living. If we only live for when, or we're only focused on the next task, you're not really living, because you're just becoming a automaton, this robot that's just getting things done, but not actually like being in the thing, right? So we don't want to do that. And I look back sometimes on my early motherhood years, and we were so busy. My husband was traveling so much for work. It was all on me most of the week. I had 2 babies. They were less than a year and a half apart, back to back. I was working freelance, starting my own businesses, working for my dad's company all at the same time. And it was a season where I literally did live to just check off the next thing, because I had to. Like, that was the only way anything was getting done. And when I think back to the early years of my kids, like, I have a lot of memories, and thank goodness I love to record and create videos and do all this kind of stuff. And I have hours upon hours of my little kids, my babies, when they were babies. Thank God for that, because honestly, that season was such a blur. Like, it takes a lot for me to recall a memory from that time. And that pains me. And I will never be in that situation again. Living present is your best gift, because it truly is the only time that you have. It is the time that you have right now. So being present is a holy assignment that we have to stay intentional about managing. So productivity isn't about doing more. It's about being intentional with what God has given you in this season. And when you build rhythms that reflect your values, you don't just get more done, but you actually become who you're hoping to be and who you're meant to be through all of that. So if you're ready to stop overthinking your schedule, start living in purpose-driven alignment, I want to personally invite you into the Bold Life Accelerator program that just launched. It is my monthly coaching group membership for Christian women who want to build a business without burnout, create intentional systems that work for your real life, stay rooted in God's word while growing in impact. We do mindset, strategy, blueprint work, action plans, implementation together. So this is for the mom who is done pretending that she has to figure it out on her own. You don't. And we are building our dreams together. We are purposely and intentionally managing our time well to launch into the world the things that God has been nudging us and calling us to do. So if you're entrepreneurship minded, if you're business minded, ministry minded, this is the place for you. And I cannot wait to hold space for what you are dreaming up and to help you come alongside, along with all the other ladies that are part of this accelerator program. All the details are in the show notes below. So click that. There is limited availability for its open season right now because I really want to be able to pour in individually into what you're doing, how I can coach you better and answer questions for you, give you real-time feedback, and all of those elements that will really catapult your dreams and your goals into existence, and obviously staying focused on God first. So that takes a lot of mental space. So right now it is open. So if you go to the link in the show notes, you can check that out. I would love to have you in there as well as the other ladies. And I really am excited about all the things that we are noticing and working on and building transformation around. And a big part of that right now, while you're watching this, is your time. Time is precious. It's our most precious commodity and something we can never get more of or know how much we have of it, right? So it's all about being intentional. You don't need more hustle. You need to start with what matters, surrender what doesn't, and watch what God builds when you finally start saying yes to the life that He's been calling you into. So be sure to subscribe, stay connected to us. And if you want to dive deeper into planning your faith-centered business, then go check out this next video. I know it will help you so much. Bye for now.